Okay. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the press, Dow Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
That's right.
Attention, salute. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Tom, would you call the roll, please?
Just keep it on.
Thank you. Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Here.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Here.
Commissioner Tauby.
Here.
We have before us the minutes of our March 5th meetings. Are there any additions or corrections? What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Tom, would you call the roll?
Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tauby.
Yes.
At this point, we'll open to public comment. You have 3 minutes on any subject you'd like to speak about.
Listen up, clerk. Sewell, 22 West Drive, in historic Marvin Gardens. Mayor, today we're going to compare and contrast disengaged with detached. We'll start with disengaged first. Whether or not you're aware, since you're a little light on reading the news, but the esteemed Mayor of Egg Harbor Township, Mayor Sonny McCullough, was engaged. In fact, he wouldn't take no for an answer. Mayor McCullough discovered that the taxpayers have been defrauded by the county tax boards and the municipal tax assessors by systematically, routinely tossing out foreclosures. And since you don't read the 22 to 30 pages of foreclosures in the Atlantic City press, you would realize why it was so important to do this. Now, Mayor, you'd have a golden opportunity to also be engaged. And I've brought this up several times. And I think we could even get a cut rate on this engagement, because it would be the identical lawsuit by the city solicitor's arch nemesis, Georgie Miller. We could save, Mayor, close to $1 million each and every year by simply getting George Miller to do what he did for Longport. Instead of handing over $24,000 per pupil per year, that counselor down there in Longport was able to wrangle a mere $15,000. That's $9,000 saving per pupil per year. We're not asking you to share services, Mayor. We're asking you to save money. Now, if that rhino, that supersized rhino up in Trenton, wants us to continue to send students to your alma mater, Mayor, then I suggest that the state cough up close to $1 million a year to compensate Margate for this atrocious education they get down in Black Horse Pike. So let us consider that. Now we have to quickly move on to detached. Detached. And I gave you a handout at 4 o'clock, Mayor, to study and commit to memory. Now, if you'll recall, Mayor, if that's possible, that you did a rather quick approval of the balloon ordinance, because we're supposedly supposed to be worried about turtles. But to tell you the God's honest truth, Mayor, 99.9% of the residents of Margate couldn't give a tinker's damn about turtles, but they do give a tinker's damn about the unleashed pit bulls that you can find on beaches on the entire Absecon Island. And if you read closely, I don't remember the fact that you could.
15 seconds.
We'll use them judiciously, Mayor.
Thank you, John.
Use them judiciously, because voting for that balloon ordinance was a detachment from reality. However, voting for a jaw strap for vicious dogs over 25 pounds, that's reality, Mayor, and I would suggest that you get in touch with reality rather than the balloon ordinance, because it doesn't have any bearing on 99.99% of the population. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Sewell, I think. Anyone else?
Sharon Simon, 424 North Thurlow Avenue, Margate. Mayor Becker, I have a question for you. I know this is not a question and answer.
That is correct.
But this is something that's important to everybody, and it's about the dunes. I want to know if you're of the same opinion as Commissioner Tobey, at least that Commissioner Tobey believes to be under after her things she brought up at the meeting about how much we've spent on litigation for the dunes, that she's putting out the message there that as soon as we hit that $200,000, we're done. We're not going to do anything else, and wherever we are in the process.
That's not true, Mayor. I don't remember ever saying anything.
So that's not how you feel?
I don't believe that's what is...
Well, Commissioner Tobey can speak for herself. No, this is what the public's asking, so if that's not how you
I
feel.
don't believe that was ever discussed or talked about.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what does that? So that's good to know, because it may be at some point that we hit that $200,000 ceiling, and since the referendum is non-binding, and you can't really have a binding referendum on what to pay for litigation, I think people can feel strongly that, you know, if we need to continue this battle, that we will. So that's very comforting to know. Also, you can roll your eyes, but that's kind of rude and disrespectful. Also, the fact that this question of these legal fees and everything, that there's a difference, my understanding, and maybe Commissioner Blumberg can clarify this, that if we were to go into the project, the costs that would be involved for maintenance and drainage and all those things and potentially, you know, environmental issues, those are things that would actually impact our taxes going forward for many years. Whereas whatever we do spend, again with the limit, on this litigation and technical assistance to help make sure that we don't end up with dunes or that we end up with a solution or an alternative, that money is money that can be paid out of the budget under certain improvement projects or some other way, so that's not necessarily increasing taxes. Whereas if we would go forward with the project, there would be a tax increase and an impact. Is that, Commissioner Blumberg, is that true?
Well, I think that that's safe to say.
Okay. Because, you know, the letter that came out, Commissioner Tobey bringing up, and we're almost at the limit, and
15 seconds.
her reporter
I
printing,
think there's
we're
some
almost at the
politicking going on
limit.
here for Commissioner Blumberg by Sharon Simon.
Well, you do the same thing through your little group, so at least I do it in an appropriate place in City Hall and not in the school building.
Thank you.
But yeah, the article with that big headline, we're almost at our spending limit, really got people concerned, so you got to be careful what you say. Thank you.
What the hell did you say? I'm sorry, Tom. Anyone else?
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner. I'd like to start off by saying how much I enjoyed being in the school building, and how I feel that it's my right as a taxpayer and a citizen to be there. So I just want to make that clear. And also, the last meeting that you were at, there was some discussion and about the Hiltner settlement. So I did a little bit of research, and I just want to bring to light the figures so that everybody knows once and for all just what it cost the city and what it didn't cost the city. This was based on some Oprah requests and some stuff in the current in the press. So I'll just read the numbers so everybody can know. Mr. Hiltner is getting a $260,000 severance pay, and there's $50,000, this is what the city is paying, $50,000 in legal fees, and his health insurance for the next 9 years is $108,000, where the total agreement is $418,000. Now, Archer and Griner charged $227,000 for legal, and Mr. Abbott got himself about $15,000. And also, the city was reimbursed from JIF $64,000. So the total cost to the city was $596,538, okay? Not $700,000, not $650, but $596. Now, we are no longer going to have a deputy clerk or a deputy tax collector. So those positions are gone. So the savings to the city over the next, there's 2 positions that are gone from the city, okay? So this is the savings.
And that's your idea that we're not going to fill those?
That's correct.
Oh, you're running the city now? Do you want to come sit in my seat or in Mike's seat or in Brenda's seat? So
Sure.
let's not unfairly decide who's doing what when, Steve.
Nothing unfair about it.
You know, the idea is just infallible.
Let me continue, please. Okay? The salary of the clerk.
Sir, while you had a pause for a second, could you just
Yeah.
give me your name and address? Just
I would love to.
A moment of
Steve Warner, W-O-E-R-N-E-R, 103 North Sumner Avenue, S-U-M-N-E-R Avenue,
Thank you.
08402.
And again, you mean no disrespect to the deputy clerk and the
certainly
deputy
not.
tax collector who
Certainly
worked
not.
for over 20 years in those positions.
Certainly not. I thought they did, in fact,
just
they
wanted to
did
make
the
that
work of the city
clear for
clerk
the
and the tax collector, for the truth be told. Yeah. So now, if, when Governor Christie first came in, he said things to the effect that if a city, a small city, he didn't mention Margate by name, but I think he meant Margate, a small city, if they had a city clerk and a deputy city clerk, there was only enough work for one person, okay? And if they had a tax collector and a deputy tax collector, there was only enough work for one person. So somebody was getting paid for not doing anything, while the other person was doing all the work. This is what the governor said. The Rhino governor, as John Sewell said. So, in any case, getting back to what I was talking about,
Yeah, 15.
please allow me, I've been interrupted, Mayor, thank you. The city clerk, our former city clerk, was paid $80,000, $80,400 as a clerk, and as a tax collector, $80,400. And he also, his health benefits were about $8,400, and his other expenses, the federal taxes, matching taxes, $17,000, and his employee pension contribution was $19,000. So he was costing the city about $205,000. Okay, when, as far as I'm concerned, all the work was being done by the deputy clerk and the deputy tax assessor, although maybe people will take exception to that, take umbrage to it. In any case, over a period of 9 years, which is the length of his time, he's being paid for the health, the savings, he would be paid $205,000 a year for 9 years, that's $1.85 million, and what the cost to the city for the severance pay was $596,000, so the total savings from not having to pay Mr. Hiltner is $1.282 million. Okay, so rather than cost the city $596,000, $596,000. This deal with Mr. Hildner has saved the city $1.282 million. So I'd just like to set the record straight. Thank you.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make a motion that we close public comment.
Second? Tom, would you call the roll, please?
Second, okay. Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Tobey.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll now open public comment for
Okay.
second reading of ordinances and resolutions. Is there any public comment?
Clerk? Sewell, 22 West Drive. Won't repeat it twice. Mayor, your undivided attention and focus to ordinance resolution number 59-2015. Not to be unduly inquisitive, Mayor, but Phase 2 in Roman numerals. What in the world did Phase 1 cost if we're blowing almost $2.25 million on this Phase 2? What was Phase 1 costing us? Was this another Field of Dreams, only in red brick form?
I don't have that information. John.
Oh,
I
that
will
doesn't
ask the
surprise
clerk
me.
to get it for you.
That doesn't surprise me, but we have a handy-dandy clerk there. He should have that on the tip of his tongue.
He does.
Handy-dandy clerk, you have that on the tip of your tongue?
I do not.
Disappointed. But what I'm saying, at $2.25 million just for Phase 2, not counting Phase 1, I think you could have kept the facade, Mayor, and put a brand-new building up for less than Phase 1 and Phase 2. I mean, is somebody watching the numbers as they're going around like the taxi cab in Manhattan traffic?
Please remember that a good portion of that's going to be reimbursed by
For
FEMA.
your information, John, the majority of that $2 million is being reimbursed. We have
Well,
to,
what about Phase 1, Mayor?
I told you we would get you that information, John.
I'll hold my breath until such time, Mayor,
How long, John? Until we get it to you?
until I turn blue in the face.
You got it. Anyone else?
Sharon Simon, 424 North Thurlow Avenue. Just, can I ask about an ordinance, or that's not this part?
You can comment.
The ordinance 04215 for the capital improvement projects, just real briefly, can you just tell us what those are?
Tom, do you have that information? It's a series of all the appropriations that we've done, including some things that we will be reimbursed for.
Okay, but it doesn't include anything like Fire Station 2 or anything like that, does it?
No, yeah, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, does it? Yeah.
Okay, so because at previous meetings, we've talked about Fire Station 2.
If you remember, we promised to keep our capital spending at $3.5 million.
I understand, you put that out there all the time, yeah.
Yes, I do. I never forget that one.
I'll never forget that, no.
Okay. And this...
Fire Station 1 almost fell down because of that, go ahead.
Mrs. McLaughlin explained, I guess, at the beginning of the last meeting,
Oh, okay.
why this number was higher, because some of that money will be reimbursed, but we have to appropriate it so that we can go move.
I wasn't questioning the amount, I just wanted to know what it was for and if the Fire Station 2 was part of that. And with number 612015, with his authorized payment of claims and payroll, on payroll, I think maybe if we took Chief Tabasso and Chief Wolfson and made one fire police chief, just think how much we could save doing that. And then maybe instead of having a mayor and 2 commissioners, we could just have a mayor and maybe 1 commissioner, and we could just save so much money. I mean, the numbers that Steve put out there are just phenomenal, incredible. It's just unbelievable. I could cherry pick information off of Oprah. Fortunately, Fortunately, our city is run by 2 commissioners and a mayor who have an understanding of debt and spending and budget cutting and looking toward the future and investing in Margate, and they don't just throw out numbers. That was the most ridiculous thing I've heard. And as far as meeting in the school, you don't have every right to say whatever you want in the school because the school has, you reflect the school when you make comments in the school. And if your argument that you're a taxpayer and have every right to use the school, then so do I, which means I could come to your meeting. So you talk out of both sides of your mouth. Thank you.
Mayor,
Sir.
just to give her a quick answer, Mr. Simon, on the table there, you can get ordinance 2015-05. There's 6 different projects that break out what that $1,500,000 is. The largest one being stormwater drainage system improvements. But there's other items in there, purchase of vehicle, Gladstone Avenue exterior tank painting.
Thank you, Scott, for
You
pointing
have a
that.
full breakdown here, installation of some new fire hydrants. Not all of it, but I know a substantial portion of it, or portion of that, is in the process of being reimbursed, we believe, from different relief funds. Now, the one you asked about was 05,
Mrs. Simon?
Firehouse is in 04.
and 04 is the firehouse. Right?
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
It breaks it all down for you. There's a lot of them.
Any other
so
comment?
You can take a look.
Motion to close public comment.
I'll make a motion, oops, I withdraw that.
Damn.
Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I'd just like to comment that as far as the chief of police and a fire chief, I think they do an excellent job. I don't remember saying a single word about that, other than what a terrific job I think they do. And my problem with Mr. Hildner, I happen to live right around the corner, okay? And so I would see him come in here. He would very seldom was here before 11 o'clock in the morning. I brought this to the mayor's attention and other people. I'd see him come in, maybe 11. Everybody else is here at 9, okay? Then I'd come around again, 1 o'clock, car is gone. I'd see him offshore, this and that.
Steve, I have to stop you. It's really, part of the agreement was we're not supposed
Okay.
to disparage
But that's
anybody.
me, that's not you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So let me just say that I had nothing to say bad about the police or fire, and don't put words in my mouth. Thank you.
All right. So motion to close public comment.
I'll make a motion that we close public
I'll second
comment.
that.
Okay.
Mr.
Roll
Tom?
call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tauby.
Yes.
Tom, it's all, bring it home.
Okay. All right. Ordinances for introduction. Ordinance 04-2015 is a bond ordinance appropriating $4,630,000, authorizing the issuance of bonds in the amount of $4,398,500 in bonds and notes to the city of Margate for various capital improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the city of Margate in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey.
I'll make a motion that we approve that.
I second that motion. Call the roll,
Roll
Tom.
call is Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tauby.
Yes.
Okay. We have an ordinance for introduction, number 05-215. This is a bond ordinance providing for various water utility capital improvements in and by the city of Margate City in the county of Atlantic, New Jersey, appropriating $1.5 million and authorizing the issuance of $1.5 million of bonds and notes for the city for financing the cost thereof.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call, Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Tauby.
Yes.
We have an introduction of an ordinance number 06215, amendment to the Margate City Code of Ordinance, Chapter 257-15, Vehicle and Traffic for handicap parking space. The location is 219 North Clarendon Avenue, east side, located from a point 257 feet south of the southerly curb of Brunswick Drive to a point 22 feet south thereof.
I'll make the motion.
I second that motion.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolutions. Resolution number 57-2015 is an amendment to the 2015 temporary budget.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution 58-215, 2015 is authorization to advertise and receive bids for the Decatur Avenue
Very good.
vehicle ramp project.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution 59-2015 is award of bids for the municipal building repurposing Phase 2, R. Wilkinson and Sons Construction, Inc., for the amount of $2,260,174 at 1 South Washington Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution number 60-2015, authorization to enter interlocal agreement with the ACIA accepting $29,714 Community Development Block Grant for the reconstruction of ADA beach access improvements at Jefferson Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution number 61-2015, authorization of payment of claims and payroll.
I'll
I'll
make the
make that
motion.
motion. I'll second it.
Who made the motion?
Brenda.
Brenda, okay.
Second.
Second is Blumberg. Roll call is Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution 62-2015, authorization of payment to Colmore Bills, $393.96.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I abstain.
Okay, roll call is Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Resolution number 63-2015, authorization to enter agreement with the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management accepting $176,500 grant for emergency generators.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our resolutions.
Okay.
For the record, at our next meeting, under updates, you'll see that we'll have the salary range ordinance on for adoption, as well as the public hearing for the municipal budget.
Thank you very much, Tom, for a job well done.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second.
Let me get that one.
One more time.
Roll call, Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Plumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for being here.